All right. Thanks, Don Bramlett and Hal Bunge for calling in. And this is being recorded at the moment so that others on the committee can help. And I think the last time that we did this was last week, and Kevin Taylor was able to hear Bill Moylan's summary of what happened at the face-to-face meeting in was it
In
Ramshorn?
Dearborn.
In
Yeah, the
Dearborn.
Ramshorn.
Right. Since you were there, Don, also, could you supplement what Bill had said
Well,
and what happened there?
I haven't seen Bill's, so I don't know exactly what he covered. But essentially, Bill's going to be at least for the short interim time as the conference chair, and turn that over to other people later. And Jim Harvey and you, Mike, and Ed have lead roles in the conference. Obviously, I'm the finance chair.
Right. Do I have this
And
correct? Do I have this correct then? I've little by little, this website is getting into shape. As you know, we have this other website, which is what I call the planning website, where there's a lot of other stuff that we don't want the public to see. Somewhere in
yeah,
here is right here, and so most of our contracts and all that other paperwork are still here. You know, we're going back, as I reminded others that we've been meeting. We've been meeting like this since June, so there's so much information in here about what's necessary that I'm not ready to let it go. But little by little, the solid information is trickling over here. So I think I just started this, by the way, and as you can see, it's a WordPress template page where there's some tables that I adapted, and now, based on what Rashik had told me, he had I've identified some roles or some work to do, and we were looking for people to do them. But so anyway, this is just me integrating what I learned from Rashik and then suggesting these other people. So and so I've identified you here as the finance chair, and I think Jim's chair, I'm co-chair, Steve's co-chair, and then Bill. Does Bill now want to be the chairman, or?
well, what he'll be eventually advisor, but he would just want to be the conference chair for a month or two while we get things going through the chapter and the section.
Okay, so why don't we
Because
just,
he's more well known than the other people are.
right, so let's call conference chair. All right, so what I'm going to have to do here, so make sure I got that conference chair, and I'll put Bill on there again, and I'll get this fixed. I'll get Jim in there too.
Yeah, just list Jim as a vice chair or something.
Yeah, Bill Moylan.
Chair or vice.
And then we came up with these because of I'm committed to this because I put it on LinkedIn that I was co-chair. So I have to learn how to put a
Oh,
new.
that's fine. That's fine.
So I'll get this fixed, folks. Just let you know, I do some of my editing in between when I'm watching Jeopardy. You know. So anyway, okay. So what else should we know about what happened at the last meeting, Bill?
Okay. Well, what we're looking at is for financial sponsorship will be 66% IS, and right now we're looking at 16 and a third, 16.5%, I guess, the section, and 16.5% the chapter.
Okay, I think that's in an email somewhere. So
Yeah.
I think yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, so it doesn't.
And but what I'm doing now, and that is I just today got some financial information from the hotel on meals and AV equipment. Plus, we already had information in there on their contract. And so now I'm going to be putting together a draft of our budget and then distributing that for people to look at, to make comments on. We'll finalize that and then take it to the chapter and the section both want to see our budget.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so all right. What is your sense of it? I mean, having done this before,
There
Don.
should be no problem. there should be no
Yeah.
problem.
Do we have
It's
money?
just a matter that they have processes on doing stuff, and so you got to fit into the process.
We were before we got here. Honorariums. That was one item there. I'm trying to charm Hal into getting was it Mr. Anderson? Is that his name? Who was the CEO of Edison?
Oh, Jerry Anderson.
Yeah, Gerald Anderson.
Yeah, we felt that it would almost be insulting at least not to go to his office. Since you guys are both active, obvious employees, we should ask that person.
I'm asking that, and if he's not available, there's other people you can go to.
Well, I was even going to ask Ontario Hydro. That was somebody from Canada, and that was another part of what I wanted to. That might be a discussion for another time.
Yeah, I think we want to get someone from DTE.
You think you will?
I think we should.
Yeah, I think so too. I probably will be able to get to the dean of the U of M Dearborn, the chairman of the, what's her name here, Yee Murphy. She actually presented at the Murphy, is it Murphy, or should they call her Murph? She's the dean of the, let me just see what Yee, she's the dean of, all right, I'm not going to bother you guys anymore. I thought we were LinkedIn friends, but maybe she got sick of me. Who knows? Anyway, she was going to be, here we are. All right, yeah, so she just doesn't have a fancy LinkedIn site, but she has a fancier U of M site. So I might be able to get her to speak also. Her area, though, tends to be in very, she's in automobiles, in the smart grid cars. So there's another person there that might be able to. So it just strikes me that we should, even as a matter of courtesy, yet another chair somewhere. Good gosh! Oh, she's.
Isn't there supposed to be an emphasis this year in biomedical or health-related fields?
Sure. Yeah. Well, this is that biomedical. Well, there's the
health-related. I thought that Jim and Bill mentioned something like that.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's this new committee we started, and that's why I think I'm fairly confident that we can get a fair number of education, college, universities, and hospitals in the area. So that's once I get my help, I am hiring a staff person, but I can only have that staff person do so much IEEE work. So I'm going to need I'm going to need somebody down here to help out a little bit with what you guys call publicity, and that's what Rashik was calling them. So I just threw this against the wall because I can see that you need a principal and then a backup. I just wanted to give them nicer titles, though. Publicity chair sounds like it's you're working for the PTA, where it's maybe on somebody's resume, if they're going to do this work for you, can we call them outreach?
I mean, if we're going to come up with fancier names, that's fine, but that's just what we had before. That's all.
Okay, well, I'll call them. I think the word liaison sounds got a little bit of mystique to it. So I'll plug that in here. I'll just call that liaison. I know in the standards where I work, and you're a liaison, that means you can pick up dinner checks. So that's what. I'll leave that as a matter of. So okay, what was there a to-do list? I think getting jobs assigned was important. Oh, I know the other thing. Apart from getting jobs assigned, and I don't know what came of that. I know Jim's been very busy. So getting these jobs here, I don't want to step on anybody's toes. Since you mentioned audio-visual, will we have to have an audiovisual person, or are we going to hire out with the hotels group? There's a group, the hotel.
More than likely, the hotel has an in-house organization and will most likely use their facilities.
Yeah, I talked to them earlier about this, and I've also raised a more sensitive question about the degree to which we can pipe in remote attendees. Now that this is probably jumping in quite a bit ahead, but could there be a room? We contemplated one room being one where we could reach out to Western Europe, for example. That's part of what we've been trying to do here, and it seems to be working. Is that we have every other week we meet with European, mostly Giuseppe, but I had one colleague from the Netherlands call in. So,
Okay. Well, right now, in the hotel contract, we have free Wi-Fi in the rooms, but we do not have free Wi-Fi and our internet in the meeting rooms.
okay, that's always where they hit you, I know. So there's...
And a wired internet, one connection is $500.
Yeah, that's what they do. That's their revenue capture. Free Wi-Fi
So,
where?
we have free Wi-Fi in the guest room,
Oh,
so
okay.
people, and they usually have it in the lobbies as well, but not in the meeting rooms.
Per day for a meeting room. It almost seems to me unthinkable that they charge like that, but you know, if they don't do it here, then maybe they're making the hotel room $300. So I do get that. They have to be in business. We need them to stay in business.
Yeah. So, I mean, we'll have to talk on it, but I right now don't see us streaming any presentations.
Mm-hmm. Unless I'm successful in getting somebody to pick up the check.
Yeah, for that particular activity. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll say, so I'm going to say Mike will look for a sponsor to stream one room's presentations.
Yeah. Plus, we'd have to find out because their pricing doesn't leave any information on streaming capabilities. I don't even know if what they have in that regard.
I did talk to them. I've done this with other conferences. I was the person I've had success with this, by the way. I'll present in Atlanta, and people in Asia and Mexico will see me present. So it's called PG. There's a company out there. I won't belabor the point. They're called PG, PGS, PSG, PSMG Audiovisual, and I'm pretty sure that's who Marriott uses. PSG Audiovisual. This is the group that does it for almost everybody in the world, and at least so this anyway. That's it. They're all over the world. This just happens to be the British one. So okay, well, I'll find out what that's going to cost. If you don't mind, Don, if you're going to be doing that, I'll look for a sponsor to do that. And it could even be, you know, like one of the IEEE, some of the IEEE chapters in Europe. In Europe or Costa Rica. I have, in our statement about what we wanted to do for the EHE committee, and I guess one of the ways is that we anticipate if we're going to grow this part of the industry, or at least try to capture these guys at a point in their facility management career, we think we need to get into a more robust social media platform. And I was going to show you the paper we wrote, which is kind of our manifesto for what we want to be able to do. And I've said that the next generation of engineers are going to be people who are online all the time. They're going to be online all the time. My kids are online all the time. The young engineers, when they go over to the engineering school, they're online all the time. And if they're from Asia, they're talking to their friends in Asia. And so I just think that we need to acclimate. We need to acclimate themselves. This is the paper, if I can get the darn thing to generate. But the next generations will be savvy in social media, and I think that this is where we need to be. And if we're going to grow, you know, for the next generation of engineers working in education and healthcare. I don't know what's going on in Edison. I think even though you have a lot of far-flung assets, I think that the education industry might be a little more far-flung across the globe. Just a hunch.
Yeah, I mean, DTE is pretty localized.
Yeah, so that's kind of our point of view. Okay. All right. So so that's what, if you could bring me in the loop. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to start looking. I'm going to guess that we need $1,000. I'll ask for $5,000. I'll find somebody or some other way of scaling the price of this. And I'll talk to, now, is there going to be a single point of contact, one person who will be dealing with the Marriott? Are you going to be that person, that one person?
Right now it's Jim Harvey.
Okay, it's Jim Harvey. So he can hear this right now. So Jim, we want to make sure we don't step on your toes there. So you can hear this teleconference, and I like to split off the work to get the price of what it costs to do streaming for one of those presentations to at least get us to Western Europe. And maybe it's just one day, you know. So I'll just say we need $1,000 per day to get to Western Europe, and maybe Costa Rica, because we had Jim and I were invited to go to Costa Rica to give some classes, and we never got a chance to do it. So.
Just gave you, since you were talking about sponsorship, we were talking about levels, like contribution of $1,000 is bronze level, $2,000 is silver level, $3,000 is gold level, and $5,000 is platinum level.
Okay, so we'll get those levels. So we have to write that out. So there's gold on top, and there's platinum on top.
Platinum is $5,000, gold is $3,000, silver is $2,000, and bronze is $1,000.
What would they get for that? Some kind of advertising or something?
That they will have advertising in all of our social or our big rooms where you have like receptions and meals, stuff like that, and in the hallways.
Are they able?
Registration desk.
Would they be permitted to advertise on the website for the conference? Are there rules for that?
We're not really looking to put any ads on the conference website.
Okay.
We haven't discussed it.
Okay. Well, even if they're a sponsor,
but we could, we could list them as, I mean, we could have a page in there of sponsors at different levels and who the sponsors are.
Okay. Well, I can add that on here sometime. We're starting to get kind of a cluttered menu here, but we can make that obvious. This will be moved over. I need, there's certain things I have to do. I have to have my programmer help me with, so you'll see this all clean up. I'm very, I really like the idea that we're going to, it's at Windsor. I think it's being a conference goer, more my share of I just took the liberty to assume that we can get you. Hope you guys don't mind. I was looking for some graphics to put on the slider, so I just picked up a generic something off the web. It's probably not yours, but just side trip to your dispatch center. Is that still possible? Is that still possible?
Over, mean to our SOC?
Yeah. Or is this just a crowd that you're just worried that they're gonna be affiliated with terrorists?
No. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm not sure if the SOC is the place they'd want to go visit. I'm not sure.
It's not. Yeah, it's kind of in a dark, dingy basement.
Yeah.
There's got to be a marquee place. Well, all right, so I'll take that one down. Or I'm looking for stuff to do downtown. If you guys know it, you work down there.
Why don't you check and see if there's any Tiger ball games during that period?
Oh, that's right. All right, I'll add that here then too. Okay, we'll just put stuff up here for the moment. All right, so I guess now tomorrow we'll meet. I guess we're running out of time here. Tomorrow, whoever's available. I haven't talked to Steve in a while. I hope Steve will call in. But getting some of these things to do. This is the wrong one. Oh, that's a priority. But this thing here, getting the call to papers out, I think Rashik had said that this is done by, would this be done by Bill, or should I do a draft? What was that covered at all?
Didn't discuss it.
Okay. I think that it has to have been done very quickly. In fact, if I go for my, if you don't mind here, I think Rashik had did call for papers. What did he say about that?
I thought someone from IAS contacted Bill or Jim on that issue.
Okay, I sure hope so. Call for papers. So here we go. Rashik, will be Monday. We will be meeting downtown. Mike, also, let me know. So this is Rashik asking for more information on that, and well, okay, call for papers. We've had a starter website, so I told them we've already got something, but there's no answer on who's doing the call for papers. So I'll just put that.
Yeah. Because essentially all those papers come into IAS, we don't see them.
Okay, all right. So I'll just say verify call for papers. And I heard that even though there's call for papers, that panel discussions and posters are permitted, and PowerPoints. Is that true?
And that, well, yeah, people in their sessions would use PowerPoints, and then we, get a digital projector and screen and table.
Well, sometimes, and I know this is the case, is IAS having any trouble finding people to write papers? Do people write anymore? That would be a question I would ask.
Apparently they do.
Okay, well, if there are companies that have them do it, sure. Okay, it just strikes me that I know the people that I work with in the EHE committee, I know that those folks are not paper writing types.
Usually in academia you got a lot of papers.
Well, they would be academic papers, but the facility guy is...
they want something more practical.
They want more practical, and so we'll play that a bit by ear. I'm out there, I'll be, as we like to say, I'll be out there hustling paper authors for the EHE committee. So, all right, well, I think the big item really is, does Jim going to call for another face-to-face meeting at some point, do you think, so that you can go through the hotel budget, or do we want to do it by teleconference? I guess we don't know. You still with me?
I'm here, Mike.
Oh, I see. Did Don go? Or looks like Don might have lost his sound.
Oh, I'm sorry. I had it on mute there.
Okay. So,
but I'll probably have a preliminary budget out by the middle of next week to everybody to look at and solicit comments back on.
Okay. All right. Well, all right then. Frankly, I'm running out of time, and this is a half an hour, and we've always promised half-hour conference calls. So, anyway, well, thanks for your time, guys. I'll get the website. We'll converge, so to say. You guys know what converging means, so I feel comfortable. Yeah. I'm not talking to a bunch of English majors. It'll get better incrementally, and we'll tell our story. I'll do what I said I would do. Thanks, guys.
Okay, take care now.
Bye-bye.
Okay, Mike. See ya.
Bye now.